have to understand that I'm Geraldo. I'm not anyone to trifle with.
I love that intro, Greg.
You love the intro song or the Geraldo?
The Geraldo that you put that in.
He's nobody to trifle with.
I
want you to know we're getting ready to do the show. Everybody's running around getting a million things. You're gathering stories. Nick Scarpino's not doing a goddamn thing. I'm in here. I'm hard at work. Bumping the audio on the Geraldo clip, maxing it out. Oh yeah, that went into Premiere and came out.
Did you
so everybody can hear
cut
it.
Johnny Damon out of the last?
No, I like him there.
Oh, okay.
I like him there.
Okay.
It brings it all together.
Okay, well, welcome to another episode of Colin and Greg Live right here on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. My name is Colin Moriarty. This is Greg Miller, and of course, as you might know by now, since many of you have been tuning in, we've had thousands of viewers every day for the show. And we really appreciate it. This is basically our Mike and Mike style, Boomer and Carson style, PTI style, sports-inspired kind of show, but for nerd culture.
Right.
For TV and movies and video games and comics and all these kinds of things.
Yep.
You tune in when you can. If you can't tune in live, that's okay, because everything is archived right here on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames.
It's hard to find things on the archive. You know the easiest way? When you go to our page, we have the little pictures of us down there. There's one that says schedule. It has the 2 show schedules, and then it has the link right there to past broadcasts. You get to go check it out.
Yep. So go over there and check it out. We are listening to your feedback on Twitter. I am at No Taxation. Greg is at Game Over Greggy, and of course you can follow Kinda Funny at Kinda Funny Vids, and we're going to kind of try to continue to cater to the show to your wants and needs. So we appreciate you coming here.
Yeah.
And spending some time with us. Greg, a real quick aside, a quick note. My episode of Hot Pepper Gaming went live.
It did.
And you guys can check that out at Hot Pepper Gaming on YouTube. We tweeted it out from, I think, Kinda Funny Vids. And
we sure did. Let me show you how you do over here.
Oh, look at this.
You like this?
Oh, my.
I want you to know how hard I've been working
She's on the pride of Long Island.
15 minutes before we go live to make sure we have all the stuff here. My favorite part of the Hot Pepper Gaming, of course, an amazing thing. Your review of Freedom War is an amazing game. Here you are freaking out at the end, which I'm a big fan of. That's the one.
The end with the Michael Jackson and stuff is pretty good.
Cause you were so desperate. Here it is. Everybody go watch this. Give them the real view, of course. Hot Pepper Gaming on YouTube. Amazing. This is my favorite part. So great. God damn, what an amazing show. It's one of those that I wish we had come up with. You know, I mean, I'm glad they have it. I love Vernon. I love everybody over there at Hot Pepper Gaming, but what a fucking awesome idea.
It's one of those ideas like Too Many Cooks.
Yeah. This one I think we could have come up with. Too Many Cooks.
Too Many Cooks takes a special kind of mind.
A special kind of perversion to go in there.
All right, Greg, we have a lot of news today.
We do. Where are we starting?
I'd say we should jump right in. Well, I know you want to jump right in with Batman Arkham Knight. Specifically, as you guys know, we've talked about Arkham Knight already on this show, but Arkham Knight is the 4th Batman Arkham game, the 3rd from Rocksteady. It's coming out this spring. It's supposed to come out earlier. It was supposed to come out last year, but they needed more time.
Yeah.
It was
supposed to come out. Yeah. Hey, we're going to announce this game for coming out in a few months, and then, lo and behold, it's delayed all the way till June. Okay, this game was never coming out when you thought it was.
Yeah, so it's quite a ways away, about 6 months away, 5 months away.
Yeah.
But the special edition, or the limited edition, appeared on Amazon. And
we have to give out a giant spoiler tag here. Yeah. There might be spoilers for Batman Arkham Knight. We're not sure, but we need to talk about it. I want to talk about it. So you go ahead. So I get in the news.
No. So, it basically, the news is that on Amazon, the limited edition showed up, and it had a beautiful statue of Batman standing over, Gotham. And there's a plaque on it. And the plaque says, from a great... And again, this is a spoiler. So mute it if you don't want to hear this.
Even what you're seeing right now is now the amended version, the amended image. This isn't even the original debut.
Oh, you have IGN story.
I do. You like that?
Oh, it's very
I'm telling you, I'm learning how to Twitch and do it. I can't find the wireless keyboard I have somewhere in this goddamn house, but I got a wired one in case we need to go on the fly somewhere.
I like how you asked me when, because I clean the house, to go on just cleaning escapades.
Yeah.
And if I had seen your wireless mic, it's like you dropped a pin or an earring.
I thought you would have remembered seeing a wireless keyboard around here. The house is small. I have no idea where it could have been. This is my, of course, DC Universe Online keyboard where I would chat with everyone.
Anyway.
Yeah. Inscription says.
It says, from a grateful city in memory of the Gotham Knight. And then what's interesting, according to videogamer.com, is that Amazon replaced the image with a limited edition statue with one that simply reads, the Gotham Knight. So what say you about this, Greg? Do you think a major spoiler has been revealed? Before you even answer the question, let me just say that people are going to get this limited edition. Right? And they're going to open it before they play the game. They're going to look at the statue. So it spoils the game for you right off the bat before you even play it anyway. So is this something that they're actually going to start talking about where, Batman dies and that's part of the, or, something happens to him?
It's got to be, it seems too on the nose, right? really would have thought putting out a memorial statue in something like you said, you're going to buy day one, open it up, tear it out, and you're going to see it right there. Who would have thought that's a great idea? To put something, a spoiler you can't get around.
Right.
Yeah, Andrew says he also died in The Dark Knight Rises. That's another one. And that's how I always feel about these things, is that you never know which way they're going to go. You know what I mean? Like, saying somebody's dead doesn't mean they're dead. But I believe it. I believe it's possible. I believe that Rocksteady would kill him. They're crazy. They're finishing their trilogy. They say it's a definitive end. I was saying that it would end the Batman one. Superman would be there. We'd get a Justice League game. Some people call this out then as proof that won't happen. It's one of those... I can see them killing Batman. Spoilers, killed the Joker. Like, it's like, why not? We'll get in that universe and have fun with the toys you have, right? But are they stupid enough? Is WB marketing stupid enough? And I know they're not, to put a giant spoiler like that in the box. It can't just be that, like, I guess it'd be weird to put up a memorial statue when somebody's still alive. But I mean, maybe we just... Oh, okay, everybody. Here's what's gonna happen. You get to the end.
Had a moment.
They're gonna be so thankful for Batman and think he's dead or whatever. They'll make the statue. Then it'll fade. Time will pass. We'll see like a quick thing, and then it'll come up and it'll say like, I don't know, 20 years later, and then 2 feet will walk in, one with a cane, one in jeans, and you'll hear Kevin Conroy say, "And that's why I brought you here, Terry." Credits.
Oh,
That'd be Batman Beyond.
Okay.
Everyone would flip the fuck out. I just saved it, everybody. Everybody tweeted WB Games. We just
now the
saved
game's
it.
going to be delayed another 2.5 years while they work
render
this
one
in.
cutscene. Have the dog walk in too.
So yeah, I think that's an interesting theory. I do agree with you that this had gone through so many people, the publisher and the developer.
Yeah.
There's no way that they would spoil the game like that unless it was intentional and that it means something to the game's story. It is a little weird, though. Then again, it is a little weird that you replaced the image.
Yeah.
To not say that anymore. If you really didn't think it was a big deal, you wouldn't have replaced the image on Amazon. So that's an interesting piece of news, I thought. I know that that's something very relevant to you. A lot of people are asking me in the chat if I'm okay, if my gut's okay from Hot Pepper Gaming, by the way. We filmed these in...
Just a couple weeks ago. Not too long ago.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I would say. And my butthole was hurting the next day. There's no doubt about that. As they reminded us at Hot Pepper Gaming, you have mucous membranes, in your butt. In your butt, and so you eat something hot, it's gonna burn again.
Yeah.
And I remember actually tweeting. We have an epic group chat going on with me, you, Nick, and Tim. And I remember being on the bowl, just saying that I was really scared to let it loose.
Let release the Kraken, as they say.
Now, here's another interesting story, Greg, that I wanted to talk to you about. And this is kind of relevant to something we actually posted on the Kind of Funny Gamescast about our predictions in terms of what we thought was going to happen and some of the games that we were also excited about coming out. One of the games that Tim talked about was Kingdom Hearts 3, which a lot of people were really, really excited about. My theory was that game has no prayer of coming out this year or next year.
Yeah. That
there's so much overlap between the teams and the leadership at Square Enix in terms of the team that's working on Final Fantasy 15, which, by the way, is also not going to come out this year, I don't think. And the team that's working on Kingdom Hearts 3, that I think they have to finish one and get one out and then kind of pivot to the other one. And so one is still, I'm sure they're working on it, but it's kind of like a Naughty Dog situation where you kind of split your teams.
Sure.
And it hinders the literal progress of the game in terms of how quickly you can do it. Well, Bill Farmer, who is apparently the voice of Goofy, and I wouldn't have never known this.
Straight from Goofy's mouth.
I would have never have known this had the internet not told me that.
Yeah.
This was Goofy's voice. Bill Farmer, who's a voice actor, and his Twitter is @GoofyBill, so I guess that kind of gives it away too. Basically, he says that the game, according to what is being told to him, is coming out this year, and his voice acting for it is done. Now, he goes on in his Twitter conversation. This comes from NeoGaf, the forum NeoGaf. Twitter user named Dean asks him, "Is Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out this year?" And he says, "That's what they keep telling me."
Yeah.
Basically, he just goes on and says, like, "This is what I've been told, and we're done recording." He says, "Okay, no problem. We are done recording on KH3, at least as far as I know," etc.
Yeah.
So basically what he's saying is that as far as what he's heard, I guess, from his representatives or from Square Enix, is that the game is coming out this year. But, of course, voice acting is basically one of the first things you do when you make a game. So, because you have to, unless they're doing mocap and stuff like that, which you're obviously probably not. Just like when you animate something, you write it and get the voices first, and then you animate it.
Sure.
So I don't think that I think that that's what he thinks, or that's what he knows, and maybe he's right. Maybe we know something. Maybe Kingdom Hearts 3 is way far along. But as far as my prediction was on the podcast, I don't think Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out until 2017, maybe.
The thing about this, and this is not meant to be disparaging. You know how much I love voice actors. Troy Baker's coming through with Colin and Greg Live next week. they're not kept in the loop all that much. You know what I mean? In terms of what's happening with the game. And maybe it's different with Square, maybe it's different setup with Kingdom Hearts. But if you remember, the one I always think back to is PlayStation All-Stars and Eric Layden. Eric Layden, fantastic human being. Love the guy to death. And I remember when he tweeted, so proud to be part of a cast that includes @David Hayter, and he was talking about PlayStation All-Stars, and I DM'd him. I'm like, dude, like that's not public. And he's like, it's on IMDb. And I'm like, anyone can edit IMDb. So it's, not only did he not know the embargo he was dealing with, he didn't know the real cast because Snake wasn't in the game, right? And that's the whole thing, of course. This brings me into the comments where KScalad92 says, according to IMDb, Tim Daly is voicing Superman in the new Batman Arkham Knight game. IMDb is a very expensive Wikipedia. Anyone can go in there and edit things out. So all you need is one renegade fan who wants to go in there and put it in there. That is far from confirmed. I still predict it's true, like I said, setting up a Justice League or Superman game, but I don't think you can take that to the bank just yet. Just like I don't think we can take Goofy saying Kingdom Hearts is coming out right now or this year.
Yeah, I think that it's unlikely, very unlikely. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I mean that's basically it. But for all the Kingdom Hearts fans out there, Tim and the millions of people that are going to buy that game, I hope that he's right because I know you guys are really eager to play it. But I think Final Fantasy 15 comes first, then Kingdom Hearts 3, and I don't think you're going to see either of them this year. Remember, when I was in Japan in September, they told us when we were asking them questions at Square Enix at their office, and their office building, by the way, is really cool. Have you been to it before?
No.
People should look it up on the internet, just pictures of it or whatever. It's a huge building. It's really.
I can do that for them now.
It's a really just an interesting, very futuristic looking building. They said that we're about 55% done with Final Fantasy 15, and this was in September, so.
Which is a weird thing to do. Put that kind of percentage on it.
Yeah, it is. I think he was just saying we're a little more than halfway done. Let's see. Are you finding it? Oh yeah, that's it. Right, the first picture.
This one right here?
No, like that one, yeah. That's their building.
That's a cool building. We should buy it when we hit that Patreon milestone.
Look at you getting all technical with this show.
I'm telling you, man, it's only day 4 and we're like, here we go. Now it's getting serious.
I'm real proud of you. So we'll return to Kingdom Hearts 3, I assume, many times on this show, but
yeah.
In the meantime, we'll mark that as a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt.
Everyone's yelling at me for not having the Portillo cam again. I forgot to.
Oh, you forgot the Portillo. Well, things are happening and things are in motion. It's very complicated.
There's a lot of moving parts.
It looks like Christine's texting you here, and I'm sure
welcome Zen Gamer Max. She's probably one of the people yelling at me about the Portillo cam. I'm sorry, Christine. I'm sorry, chat, that I forgot to do the Portillo cam today. All right? You know, Christine, you live here too. You can remind me when you get home. God forbid someone helps me. God forbid someone named Nick Scarpino doesn't drink all my Keurig pods, then promised to bring more Keurig pods today, then doesn't bring Keurig pods.
Pregnant pause.
I'm going to keep poking the giant, see if he comes out swinging.
Greg, this is just a little piece of news, but I thought it was pretty interesting. This was brought to my attention today, although the story is about a week old. It comes from a small website called The Games Cabin. They dug up that Little Big Planet 3 developer, Sumo Digital, is working on a quote-unquote genre-defining AAA game on Unreal 4.
A genre-defining...
a genre-defining AAA game on Unreal Engine 4. And it's for a physics programmer for a game that I guess is already in development. And they call the game, quote-unquote, industry-changing. So I thought this was an interesting story simply because Sumo Digital is typically known for, they've made a lot of games. I'm looking at their list of games they made now. They started making their first game in 2004.
They made Super Rubber-Dub?
Let's see, where is it?
Right,
Super Rubber-Dub. Yeah,
Super Rubber-Dub.
Looks like it.
Pons.
So they've done a lot of kind of mercenary work for a lot of different people. Like they did obviously Little Big Planet 3 was a game that they did pretty much on their own. I'm sure with Media Molecule's input. They did the Forza Horizon 2 Xbox 360 port, Xbox Fitness, Little Big Planet 2 DLC, Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed, etc. and so on. So they make a lot of different games. I'm wondering, based on their history of kind of working with big publishers and kind of just doing whatever they can to. Kind of grow, I guess, is that I wonder if this is going to be like the kind of first major IP that they're gonna make. So there's something for people to keep an eye on.
Martine Green says it all. Industry changing? Ha!
Well, you don't think Little Big Planet 3 was industry changing?
I don't think Little Big Planet 3 was industry changing. I just think that's a ballsy thing to come out and say. But I guess you have to, right?
You got to get people excited to come work for you too.
Yeah.
So that's just a
Ghosteen85, just subscribe. What up?
Now, there's more interesting news here.
Okay.
And I'll go back to IGN for this story. I saw this kind of going around on Twitter yesterday, and we weren't able to bring it up. I think it might have happened after the show. Excuse me, burping. Japan's console and video game sales hit 24-year low. according to the story on IGN. And this was based on information released by Famitsu, of course, the famous Japanese weekly gaming magazine and website. And a NeoGAF user named Road compiled the data into a chart that Famitsu had released. Basically, what it's saying is that when you combine hardware and software sales together, 2014 sales of hardware and software in Japan were the lowest that they had been in Japan since 1990. And,
that mobile game.
Yeah,
people love their phones, they love their DSs, they love their Vitas.
Presumably, the story that IGN wrote by Jenna Pitcher says this: tracked sales include physical sales of both handheld and home consoles, and not digital sales that are known to contribute to the profit margins of Japanese game companies. Famitsu's data tracking parent company also doesn't factor in PC games or non-traditional spend such as mobile games. So these numbers aren't necessarily indicative of the gaming market as a whole in Japan, but are indicative of the traditional gaming market in Japan.
Okay.
So consoles and handhelds, but not PC, which is not really huge in Japan, and mobile, which is massive in Japan, as we know because we've been there several times. And you see people playing mobile games, and they're just on their phones everywhere.
That's where I picked. That's where I fell in love with street passing, because it would I'd get on the train once and it would fill the thing immediately. It was something to do while I went stop to stop.
It looks like the biggest years in Japanese gaming were 2006 and 2007 by a big margin, and that must have to do mostly with Wii, you would presume, and DS as well. The numbers have truncated to the point where 2014's numbers are almost half of what they were in 2007, which is really interesting. You see here, if you go to the graph, it's. Do you want to try to find it?
Yeah, is it still like a top story on IGN? Front page IGN?
Let's see, presumably. January 7th, and it's dated yesterday, so just you have to go down. Scroll.
What's the blog look like?
Just Control F Japan, I would say. You passed it probably.
Oh, I thought you said it was farther. You just fill it. You keep reading. I'll find it.
Okay. The story goes on to say that Sega, Square Enix, and Capcom have made efforts to diversify into these markets over the past few years, which are showing positive results for the companies. Sega has previously commented that traditional game sales are slowing quickly, while digital sales for PC and mobile remain strong, and plans to focus on these areas as a result. Square Enix also aims to focus on HD online games and smartphone titles this year. So there's basically here, we're going to bring it up for you.
There's the graph.
This is the graph from a NeoGAF user Road showing
where we're going, we don't need road.
Showing the sales, and as you can see, the turquoise color is the combined sales of software and hardware. I guess before they split them up in data.
Gotcha.
Starting in 1997, they were able to split hardware from software, and so you see those different colors, blue and red. So it's very interesting. Thank you for that, NeoGAF user Road. That's very instructive. Now there's more to this story. The top selling Japanese software of 2014. Yokai Watch 2, which is huge on 3DS, sold over 3 million units at retail in Japan itself, which is absurd. That is
at retail.
Yeah, at
3
retail.
3 million units.
Now I want to put this into context for you, Greg.
Please do. You know I love context.
The Japanese population, I believe. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, it's about 1.2 or it's about 126 million people. So it's the 10th most populated country in the world. The numbers are so huge for that's like, imagine that there's 126 million people and 3 million of them bought that game.
That's nice.
That's basically like saying a game sold 9, 10, 11 million copies in the United States, which doesn't happen more than once or twice a year.
Yeah.
So that's a huge deal, and I assume that those games will come over to the West eventually. Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were 2.4 million at retail. Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate 2.3 million at retail. Super Smash Brothers for 3DS 2.06 million. Yokai Watch 2, another one, 2.007 million. Yokai Watch the original is at almost 1 million. Common theme between the top selling 6 games in Japan, all 3DS games. Mario Kart 8 was the 7th best selling game on Wii U. Dragon Quest Monsters 2, 748,000. Kirby Triple Deluxe, 687,000. And Super Smash Brothers for Wii U, 478,000.
A low showing for Smash.
The top 10 games, software games in Japan sold all Nintendo games. Very interesting.
Here's a question from the chat. Are you prepared?
Yes.
Scuba2100 says, isn't Japan in a massive recession? Could that be one of the reasons consoles are down?
That could be, but I think that it's just the way they like to play games.
You think, because Brydo also says, I think the population is just shifting to mobile-related content. Everybody's on the go in Japan. Yeah,
that's the thing, is that, Japanese culture is very, at least in cities, like Tokyo is really an amazing city because it just is massive. It's just a massive place.
Yeah.
I think a third of the population lives within Tokyo or the metropolitan area around Tokyo in Japan, which is insane. I mean, it's insane amount of people. And for context, in New York, the metropolitan area in New York, if you include the island, like the 5 boroughs, northern New Jersey, southern Connecticut, That's what, 25 million people?
Yeah.
You know, and we have 310, 315 million people in the United States, and that's our biggest city by far. So, I mean, there's no comparison to Tokyo.
Sure.
And people don't have a lot of space there. I mean, it's space is at a premium. It's very expensive. People have small apartments. And, you know, so there's not maybe a lot of room for a big TV. There's not a lot of want to stay in and play console games. It's not to say people don't play console games there. It's just to say that people go out a lot in Japan. And, and you observe that. In Tokyo, you're any time of day or night. People are just there's just people everywhere.
Buildings there's like the high-rise buildings that are just restaurant buildings and bar buildings and dance club buildings. You just go floor to floor to different restaurants, different bars. All this
it's amazing.
Stuff.
I mean,
they have to build up.
As an aside, just like we need to do in San Francisco, we need to start building up.
Yeah, well, that'd be nice, but then they all stop us.
So yeah, Japan, interesting place. Japanese console gaming seems to be dying, or traditional gaming there. 3DS and PS Vita were the two best-selling pieces of hardware in Japan in 2014. PS4 was third. Xbox One shifted less than 50,000 units in the region. And that's basically it. Hardware sales, you had 3DS, Vita, PS4, Wii U, PS3, and Xbox One in that order.
Gotcha.
Life-to-date sales of Vita, 3.4 million in Japan, not bad. Life-to-date sales of Wii U, 2.1 million. PS3 life-to-date sales past 10 million. 3DS life-to-date sales, 17.8 million. So lots of interesting sales data there for all you nerds out there that like numbers like I do. Greg, shall we move on to the next story?
You sure, Shan?
You sure, Shan?
Yeah.
Okay. This comes from USA Today, and this has more to do with computer chaos. This reminds me of, this is what they say, computer chaos.
Y2 chaos?
They basically are saying that there's a Y2K-like issue that
With
might
what?
happen in 2015. Here's what the story says, Greg. The story is by Andrew Griffin from The Independent. It's mirrored on the USA Today, I guess. Computer chaos feared over 2015's leap second.
Okay.
The year 2015 will have an extra second, which could wreak havoc on the infrastructure powering the internet.
Come on.
At 11:59 p.m. on June 30th, clocks will count up all the way to 60 seconds. That will allow the Earth's spin to catch up with atomic time. The Earth's spin is gradually slowing down by about 0.02 of a second per day, but atomic clocks are constant. That means that occasionally years have to be lengthened slightly to allow the slowing Earth to catch up with the constant clock. Last time it happened in 2012, it took down much of the internet.
Really?
Reddit, Foursquare, Yelp, and LinkedIn all reported problems, and so did the Linux operating system and programs using Java.
Huh. That's bad news.
The reset has happened 25 times since they were introduced in 1972, but the computer problems are getting more serious as increasing numbers of computers sync up with atomic clocks. Those computers and servers are then shown the same second twice in a row, throwing them into a panic. If a computer is told to do an operation at the time that is repeated, for instance, the computer is unsure what to do. Or if an email is received in that moment, it can find its way into the wrong bit of the server. Last time, Google anticipated the problem and built a smart update, which it called Leap Smear, quote unquote. It modified its server so that they would add a little bit of extra time every time so that they were updated, so that by the time of the leap second, they were already caught up with the new time. It's pretty brilliant. It said what it laid out the plan in 2011, that it would use the same technique in the future when new leap seconds are announced. Leap seconds were initially added at least once a year, but have slowed since 1979. The U.S. wants to get rid of them entirely, arguing that they cause too much disruption, but others have opposed the change. What do you think of that?
I don't know. When's the world going to stop spinning? If it slows, when does the year get longer? When does it just go on and it never stops? And life is a never-ending nightmare.
I don't know. That's a really good question. Life is a never-ending nightmare.
When does that happen?
We become tidally locked to the sun, like the moon is tidally locked to the Earth.
Yeah, you're telling me.
That means it's the same.
I know. Yeah, that's the dark side of the moon and what our oceans are all about.
That's exactly right. That's a good summation of that, Greg. So I thought that was an interesting piece of scientific news.
Yeah.
I'll never forget Y2K and anticipating the end of the world.
Oh my God! You remember how exciting that was? Like you thought planes were gonna fall from the sky, and then nothing happened. You know what happened? I'll tell you how I rung in Y2K. I was watching the WWE's countdown or whatever, and Chris Jericho came out at 12:01, and he just talked for a little bit.
And you saw two Chris Jerichos because of the space
yeah, because the second, yeah. Then he became my lunar lock, and he floated around me, controlling my oceans.
Controlling your oceans?
Yeah.
I don't even want to know what that means. That's an interesting story. I remember at Y2K, I guess I was in 10th grade.
Silent Planet 22. As a physicist, this hurts me.
Y2K happened when I was in 10th grade. I remember my buddy Kevin and I were just playing video games in my bedroom and I had my computer on in my room. I had a Sony Vaio.
Yeah.
Just, ancient Sony Vaio, and I just remember thinking it was going to crash or something.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
So then, at what point did Kevin move out here to become best friends with Tim and then help us with our shows?
Different Kevin.
Oh.
I have not seen this Kevin since we graduated high school. It's actually a mystery. No, few people. It's like there's actually myths of this particular Kevin about where he is and what he's doing in my hometown because no one has seen him.
Do you internet them maybe or Google them?
Yeah.
You tried to chase it? You can't chase
every
it?
few years I look for him.
There's no footprint, no digital footprint.
No, he was a good guy, though. He's a nice guy.
Never mind, NVR says, I bet PSN crashes due to leap seconds.
Oh my god, I can't believe I can't imagine what the leap second's going to do to PSN.
It's going to wreak havoc. You're going to be able to change your name. Everybody welcome GB Grizz 2, new subscriber.
Here's a new story. This one's about Rare, the developer Rare. And this comes from Crave Online.
Yeah.
The story is called Rare's next Xbox One game makes 2015 a huge year, in quotes, says composer.
Okay.
And the subhead says, will Conqueror Banjo-Kazooie be revived?
But what's that based on? Oh, okay, here, you're going to give me a story now.
Give me a moment, Greg.
I'm sorry, you're burying the lead.
Give me a moment.
You're saying, quote-unquote, huge year.
Give me a moment. I'm introducing the story, all right?
Yeah, I'm listening.
The story from Crave Online says this. If you look back to some of the most popular games of generations past, you'll find a few extremely successful developers who have largely disappeared over time. One of those developers is Rare Limited, a studio held in great regard during the 80s and 90s for such games as GoldenEye 007, Killer Instinct, and Banjo-Kazooie, among others. I would throw some NES games in there as well, but those are all N64 games, and that's fine. Sadly, for the past several years, following an acquisition from Microsoft, Rare has been a hollow shell of its former self. I don't think anyone would say that that's not true, Rick.
Yeah.
It has gone from making stellar titles like Donkey Kong Country 2 and Conker's Bad Fur Day to games like Kinect Sports. To be fair, Killer Instinct and Viva Pinata were great. However, it may be planning a comeback to recapture some of its former glory. Robin Beanland, a composer at Rare, is extremely excited about the studio's next game in development. He's currently working on the score for the unknown game and had the following to say about it on Twitter. He tweeted some music that he's written on his staff.
Right.
And he says, this is a huge year for Rare, in these notes, and with a little smiley face, and he shows just a little piece of it.
You read music, what does it say?
I don't really have the context to tell you what it says. These are notes.
Yeah.
It's a little smiley face. It's in 4/4 time.
Okay, so we're
normal
there.
time. And then the story goes on to say, although Rare has been busy with Kinect titles for the past few years, Xbox head Phil Spencer revealed late last year that its next project won't be Kinect-based. As a matter of fact, he said the following after visiting the studio for a full day. He tweeted this, got to play the new Rare limited game today, Rare building a uniquely Rare game as it should be. Very exciting for, I think, Xbox fans specifically, because I think when Microsoft acquired Rare, they acquired a company that was not what Nintendo had for all those years.
Now, see, it's interesting you point that out, because over in the Twitch chat, Team Vernia linked us to Gaff, where this person, Steve Rules, had gone through the studio list of 136 employees to figure out who had actually been there and how long they'd been there. He says, so 1/3 of the studio has been there for at least 10 years, except for 2 guys who are 8 and 9 years apiece, not factoring in any I can't see due to premium locks on LinkedIn. That Rare, just a name.
Yeah, I mean, turnover that much is not necessarily uncommon at any company, especially in game development, but I think that you have to understand that, and I think a lot of people do understand that the heart and soul of certain studios are set with certain people. Think about Naughty Dog with Neil
David
and Bruce,
Ballard.
and of course David Ballard, who
Crushing blow when he moved on.
I'm sure it was. But like there are certain people at certain studios that you really identify with, and it's important that they're there. Why I think Microsoft acquired the company and then allowed this exodus, or did something in the company that allowed this exodus, is beyond me, because you don't really have the Rare of the 90s, especially, that people love.
Sure,
I mean, they were such an essential company.
You figure those people are leaving, I imagine, because they're seeing that they're not getting the opportunities they want, right? Rare used to make full-fledged games and do all these cool things, and then they came on, and for a long time they worked on Avatar crap, didn't they? For like your guy, and then it was just into the darkness. The living nightmare that is a world that has extra leap seconds. While Colin types that out, we need to point out, of course, today's stream is involving the internet. We're enjoying it.
Is it involving the internet?
It is. It involves our good friend.
You have to understand that I'm Geraldo. I'm not anyone to trifle with.
Just keep going back to Geraldo. We're streaming, of course, from our Origin Millennium desktop. Thank you so much for helping us out with that one, Origin. If you are just joining us, this is Colin and Greg live each and every day at 11 a.m. We pop up here on Twitch to talk to you about the news of the nerd. On top of that, if you're a subscriber, thank you so much. Thank you for caring. Thank you for supporting us. Even if you're not, thank you for watching. Thanks for following. Subs, of course, get private chat with us later on. They get cool emoticons that I still need to add more to. We will add the Portillo cam for tomorrow, or I will die trying. We also do giveaways each and every week, each and every day. Every day we add something new to the giveaway pile. I thought we should do it early today. We usually save it for the end, but we keep on going. And then on Friday we'll give it all away. If you're a sub, you're automatically entered. If you tweet at us with a hashtag, what did I say yesterday? Colin and Greg Live. Tweet at Kind of Funny Vids. Colin and Greg Live on Friday, not right now. You're going to enter to win this prize pack. We're almost done with our first prize pack.
Yep.
It includes Hulkamania Edition. Includes Season 1 of The Flash, or the only season of The Flash. Includes Logitech controller. It includes an Origin t-shirt.
Oh my God.
There's too much stuff already. Now, we're going to toss in something special. You ready? This is Little Depressed Boy.
Okay.
This is, not the Daily Press Pass. This is Little Depressed Boy. He's one of my favorite Image comics. This is a handmade thing I bought off of the creator's site to support him. I want someone else to get it, and I want you to read Little Depressed Boy. Tell me what you think of it, because it's an amazing comic book. It's back right now. Struble, Steven. There he is. He's dancing.
There we go.
You'll like it, I swear. But if you get this prize pack on Friday, you have to read Little Depressed Boy. Now Portillo's gone. Little Depressed Boy can sit with me.
Shall we move? Oh my God.
It's fine.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. I punched you in the elbow. Here we go. Blew out your ACL.
All right, let's move on with the news, Greg, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Only a few more items, and then we'll go and talk to the
chat. And
the
each other.
chat. Yeah.
Yes, Leet Ben agrees with me. Little Depressed Boy is a fantastic comic.
What is he so depressed about?
Oh, it's just his life. He's a down on his luck guy. It's funny. Everybody else in the comic looks like you or I, but he looks like this. Like always got like he's just like sad, sad cartoony guy. Yeah, he's got a hot girlfriend now though. I don't know what his problem is. But he walks around like this. He goes to independent rock shows and he's sad. And he works at a movie theater and he's sad. So sad.
The real quick news that's been going on just right now, we can just talk about this real quick, is that the Resident Evil remaster, so the remake,
yeah,
is available for, I guess you can start preloading it on certain consoles. Let me see, let me look into this. Yep, Resident Evil, yep, you can preload the game on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One right now, and also pre-order it on Steam if you want, according to IGN. So just a little bit of information for you guys out there. I'm really looking forward to that game.
Resident Evil 2?
Resident Evil remake. Is that what it's called?
So the Resident Evil remake times 2. DOS 2.
Right, exactly. The remake.
So it's the remake of the remake. So it's not the GameCube version. It's a better version. Is it built from the ground up? Is it just HDified?
I don't really have that information for you, Greg.
Okay, but you're
I'm
still
sorry.
excited for it.
Oh yeah, I mean it would be fine with me if it was just the GameCube version.
Yeah, that's a great game.
Yeah.
Come with trophies? There you go. I assume it's going to.
I wonder. Let's get even deeper right now into the rabbit
Into
hole.
the minutia of the Resident Evil series?
What I like to do, and I don't know about you guys, but I like going to PSN profiles and going to games up there on the top bar.
Yeah, of course.
And then you can see like trophies have already been uploaded or whatever, and it seems like the Resident Evil trophies aren't in here yet. So we won't have any information on that. Whoa, Dave's trophies are in there though. It's a good game.
Whoa, Dave! What? Tell me about Whoa, Dave. We were talking about Vita games last night, and you were telling me you're really excited for Whoa, Dave.
Yeah, Whoa, Dave's good. It's a game that's basically just Mario Brothers, the original arcade Mario Brothers. You know, the game where you're fighting the turtles.
Yeah.
And you're collecting coins and all these kinds of things. That's really a bad description because you're fighting turtles and collecting coins in all the Mario games. So it's the
static screen with the pipes that you come in and stuff's flying around.
It's the arcade game.
It's the one everybody forgets about.
Exactly. I really love that game.
Yeah.
Like, I think that game's really fun.
Do you remember when the Wii released, and they released Mario Brothers, and everybody got excited and bought it, and then they're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
This isn't Mario Brothers. And they'd explain, no, that is Super Mario Brothers.
I was stoked.
Sure you were.
I was freaking hyped. But Whoa Dave is basically just a game on Vita, and it comes to PS4 soon too, and it's basically just Mario Brothers. You're really a special kind of person.
This is our life now.
Yeah.
You and me together. I'm a special kind of person. You look like you never grew up over here.
I didn't.
Peter.
I didn't. Peter?
Peter? Why? He's so young.
Let's go to GameSpot for some more news. Mafia voice actor teases Mafia 3.
Okay.
This is pretty
You like
exciting.
Mafia 2? We both like Mafia 2.
I like Mafia 2 a lot. It was a little bit empty. You can tell that game had trouble getting out.
A lot of Nolan North voices in it.
But I thought it was a really fun game.
Yeah.
And the DLC was pretty good too, and I platinumed it. It was a lot of fun. The game by Eddie over at GameSpot says Mafia voice actor teases Mafia 3, and this is what it says. Fans of the Mafia crime action series from 2K Games may not have much longer to wait to learn about the next installment in the franchise. Voice actor Risk Pasqualone, or Pasqualone, I don't know how. Let's say Pasqualone. Who played Mafia 2 protagonist Vito Scaletta in the 2010 game, teases on Twitter that a new Mafia game may be announced soon. Might, quote, might have some Mafia news very soon, he said, end quote. And to another who bluntly said, quote, make Mafia 3, Pasqualone replied, quote, might have some exciting news very soon. So that's pretty cool. I believe that the game is made, the 2K's Czech studio. I don't know exactly what the deal is with who's going to be making this game or where it's coming from, but I'm excited that Mafia will probably come back. I think that is a strong idea for a game. I like the Godfather game too, Godfather and Godfather 2.
Right.
They were nice ideas for a game. Remember Godfather 2 was just delayed at the last second, and we had it for like
we had
months,
it forever.
months,
and that was the one we had to enter. You had to enter a weird code for it too. To get into it, to get around.
And I'm only missing one trophy from that game, the platinum, and it's one of those trophies that you just can't get. It's like to beat up, use like a certain skill on guys, but I've killed everyone in the game.
Sure, so now you can't go back and do it. Colin,
yes.
I have breaking news in the chat from Josh King 86.
Hit me.
He's found the trophy list for Resident Evil.
Oh, fantastic.
The remake here. So what do you want to know?
Well, it's got a platinum. I can see that. One platinum, one gold, 15
Platinum's
silver,
platinum.
Yeah, so let's look at let's
Let's
put it on the screen. We can all
unpack.
we can all look at it together.
Oh man, that's gonna be tough.
What? Oh,
because like I don't have the Twitch chat open over here, so I couldn't even get back to it. So I'd have
that's
to.
okay. All right. So let me just. We don't have.
Oh, hold on a second.
Okay.
Well, you want to see this movie? You talk about keep talking about the other thing you were talking about.
Mafia?
Yeah. Are you done talking about?
I think we're done with Mafia.
Oh, damn it.
Mafia. Everything's falling apart, Greg.
No, it's not. We're having a good time. Yeah.
So Mafia 3. Hopefully, we'll learn some news about that. It's been a while. 2010, man. It was a Mafia 2 came out. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
In real years, with or without the extra second that we're gonna get this year.
that's the second that'll change everything. Make it really impressive one way or the other. Man, look how you see how I problem solved this? Pretty amazing.
What do you do?
I emailed it to myself from this computer, and then I'll open it
You're
over
very
here.
savvy, Greg.
I'm getting there, you know what I mean?
You're very savvy with the technology.
Greg, you're so savvy with the technology. Here we go. Now we're looking at it together. So now you can do it. You can talk about what you want to talk about.
Okay, so...
I'll pull it back up over here. Otherwise, you're going to squint yourself to death. So there you go.
Okay, so yeah, we have very easy difficulty. That's probably what you're going to play it on.
I'm not going to... I probably won't play it.
Really?
Yeah. Unless they've... Resident Evil and I do not get along. I've forever... I should be Resident Evil's core audience. I should love Resident Evil. And I was so excited when I picked up my PS1. My friend's like, this zombie game's amazing. Here, just jump into Resident Evil 2. And I got it in the tank controls. The inability to move and feel like I was having any fun, I was like, no, thank you, I can't do this. And I've tried. I bought it on GameCube. I tried to go back for it. I tried to be, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't get into it. And then even Resident Evil 4, like, I just don't like I don't like that I shoot things in the head and they don't drop. You know what I mean? Like, I have this weird thing about the game.
Dude, Resident Evil 4 is the best.
I know, and it just did not hit for me at all.
You're a crazy person.
I am a crazy person. I think everyone knows that by this point.
That game's so special, dude.
I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to let you down by not liking Resident Evil 4.
Just a quick piece of news for people that are excited about Evolve.
Yeah.
Evolve's coming out very soon. The game has gone gold.
Ooh!
So please be excited about it.
Please be excited.
Finally, Greg, I mean, the only other piece of information that I think
Everybody says no tank controls in this commercial, or this version.
I assume that my assumption was that they
Sure,
would.
exactly. I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm just saying that in years past with the Resident Evils, I've never been all into it.
The last piece of news that I think we would be silly not to talk about again is that's not going to do it. That's not.
You don't think that Twitch chat likes Portillo playing with his Missouri Tigers hot dog? That's just going to antagonize him to keep playing with it.
Uncharted 4.
What about Uncharted 4?
We're very excited about it. Uncharted 4, lots of new information coming out from Game Informer. Game Informer saw the game and all these kinds of things. So, over at NeoGAF, again, NeoGAF's a gaming forum, a very useful gaming forum.
Everybody loves the GAF.
Shout out to those guys. They've been very kind to us. They have a thread over there called Uncharted 4 Game Informer Preview Details. A user over there named Bombshell. And it says credit to Junior Rex. I don't know who that is. I mean, that's another...
Good old Junior Rex. Him and Rode have a long-standing NeoGAF battle.
But basically, they have little bullet points about the things that were in the preview. So I thought maybe we would go through some of those and see what we think about it.
And then, let's do that.
Okay.
And then I want to have a conversation about this very thing.
Okay. So I'm just going to select the ones that I think
the ones that stand out to you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Porting The Last of Us to PS4 helped Uncharted 4 development. We've heard that before, that they were using that as a tool, an instructive tool. So that's not news. Small team working on it since Uncharted 3 development ended. Half the team moved to Uncharted 4 after The Last of Us, and the rest after Left Behind. So they basically started splitting off people from The Last of Us to help with Uncharted slowly.
Okay.
Takes place 3 years after Uncharted 3. We already knew that. At the beginning of Uncharted 4, Drake is living a happy life with Elena.
Yes! That is huge. Thank you very much.
And Sam appears. Sam's his brother. Drake thought Sam was dead.
Interesting.
It says Sam's life depends on him finding an artifact from Henry Avery.
Do we know who Henry? You're checking right now?
I'm going to look right now. That name sounds really familiar to me. Let's see who this is. Wikipedia says Henry Avery, also Avery, or Avery with an A.
Is he related to Avery Barker from Nashville?
Undoubtedly not. sometimes erroneously given as John Avery, was an English pirate who operated in the Atlantic and Indian Oceans in the mid-1690s. He likely used several aliases throughout his career, including Henry Bridgman, and was known as Long Ben to his crewmen and associates.
Long Ben!
Dubbed the Arch Pirate and the King of Pirates by contemporaries, Avery was the most notorious pirate of his time. He earned his infamy by becoming one of the few major pirate captains to retire with his loot without being arrested or killed in battle.
Nice.
And also for being the perpetrator of what has been called the most profitable pirate raid in history. Although Avery's career as a pirate lasted only 2 years, his exploits captured the public's imagination and inspired others to take up piracy and spawned numerous works of literature. So that's what Wikipedia says about him.
Gotcha.
Some more information. Drake feels indebted to his brother, and he can't resist getting back on into treasure hunting. Story takes Drake and Sam to Libertalia, a mythic Madagascar colony purportedly founded by pirates. Says you're not going to spend the whole game on the island. He's a snowy and urban environments. Two rival hunters, Raffi and Nadine.
Raffi.
It says R-A-F-E. You would think that was Raffi or Raff. I don't know.
I don't think too much about it.
Raff or Raffi is a very different treasure hunter than Drake with different morale and approach. I think it may be morals. So
Mr. Saline says, so the villain of Uncharted 4 is a pirate. DRM confirmed.
So you guys can go to NeoGAF and read the rest of the stuff that these guys were kind enough to put into a list for everyone. Multiplayer has been confirmed, which is not surprising. And then someone added some more things and said, just read the article. Most of it is covered in the original post. A few more things. There are 60 different animations just of Drake picking up objects.
Nice. 60 treasures confirmed.
Let's see. You can attack enemies from all sides with unique animations to them. You won't magically warp in front of them if you
Nice.
punch.
See, this is what I was talking about.
Lots of talk from Druckmann on the cost of adventuring on Drake's life. It will be a major focus of the story. Compares his addiction to treasure hunting to being a drug addict.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cutscenes are now all real time. Tools will be used to enhance traversal and puzzle solving. They say the large puzzle rooms from Uncharted 3 will still be there. They say the U3 had the best puzzles of the series. I agree. And they want to build on that. Go ahead. You're going to say something?
Well, are we done with Uncharted talk for a second here?
Yeah.
That all sounds awesome. That all sounds amazing.
You're over it, though.
No, I love Uncharted. You know that.
You're over it.
Here's what I want. Now I want to go from talking about the game itself to talking about the game's journalism business.
Okay.
How do you feel about GAF? And I love GAF, don't get me wrong. So this isn't even... people on the internet taking Game Informer stuff that's for their magazine and putting it in to post to read here.
I mean, I guess I can understand why Game Informer would be upset about that.
Yeah.
But I don't really necessarily... I mean, people have done that with things I've written, too, where
Of course.
I wrote the history of Naughty Dog, and people find the little bullet points that they want to read about. I mean, that's their prerogative, I guess. People are still going to go and read the magazine. I certainly want to read the whole story myself. Yeah. But these are the salient points that I think people think that others want to know. I can see both sides of that.
Right, because this is always a long-standing what do we do with this information thing, right? Game Informer has this exclusive, right? They have this information nobody else has. Do we cover it? Do we report it? Do we not? How do you put it all together? What do you do with that information? That's something I think people struggle with all the time, and it's a struggle for them, right? Of the fact that Game Informer's in a really interesting spot of having to window their content, and the fact that they can't just jump out and be like, okay, we're putting everything online, because they want you to buy the magazine, they want you to have your subscription to the magazine, they want you to feel like you're getting something out of the magazine, like we feel with our Patreon, right? So they send it out, but then it immediately gets scanned, it immediately gets this. Sites put up scans all the time from the magazine of like what it is. People boil the information down to posts, they boil it down to news and stuff. It's a weird situation of, I feel online when we were at IGN and we would break news or we would do something, there would always be a link back somewhere, you know what I mean? You felt like, all right, well, it's getting promoted over there, which is good for the brand, blah, 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 blah. But is it good for the brand of Game Informer to have their magazine, I guess, scooped all the time by the internet? Because I have no reason to buy a Game Informer anymore, right? To be a Game Informer subscriber.
But we're being, it's not narrow-minded. We're ignoring the bigger picture that Game Informer has a reach of millions and millions of people. It goes into millions of people's mailboxes every month. It's associated intimately. It's owned by GameStop, so it's in GameStop stores and people get it when they buy their games and all these kind of stuff. I think what we often lose sight of, for instance, like we have almost 4,200 people watching this stream right now, right? That's really awesome. We're so honored by that, right?
Thank you so much.
But this is a really small group of who we're talking to right now, right? And the people that read NeoGAF it's a big site, but it's a small group of people, and we have to think about how is normal Joe Schmo getting his information? Is he getting it from NeoGAF? Is he getting it from Colin and Greg Live? Probably not. We have a really core audience that's really engaged.
I hope Joe Schmoes are watching you in this Mega Man hat give out the news.
But the guy that goes into GameStop with his girlfriend when they're in the mall and they want to buy a game and they say, oh, I played Uncharted 2 when here it is. You know, like,
oh yeah,
this
buy
is
the
all
magazine,
news.
you get the EB Edge card and 10% off.
This is
your
all news.
trade-ins
This is
anyway.
all news to him, right?
Yeah.
So I think that we have to look at it from that perspective. I also just think, frankly, it calls into print media is dying, and it has been for a long time, and I think it's just the nature of the digital age and the information age that these things just proliferate quickly based on the nature of print versus digital.
Sure.
At the same time, it does call into question the very disappointing thing about games journalism. One of the things that I'm really distressed about, and one of the reasons why I really made it a mission of mine, above really all else, to tell original stories whenever I could, and to find news and to break news stories and to tell the history stories and all these kinds of things, because games journalism is in a bad state. It's regurgitative. It's just cycling the same thing over and over again. It's
Polygon reports that IGN
boring.
reported that this was reported at this thing by this German game. Yeah, I
it's
hear you.
boring. So it's just reductive, and so I think that's the bigger problem.
The thing here is, like, I think Game Informer's learning quickly at how to do this and make their website, their .com matter, right? Because I think for a while they had it, they'd put it up and they didn't know what to do with it, and they're still figuring it out, obviously. But windowing content, doing the cover reveal here, right, having these exclusive screens, I'm looking off to the side here, and then of course promoting when your next update is coming, right? This is all a good way to be like, all right, on top of having the magazine, we have the site, we're going to drive you to the site for some of the content, blah, blah, blah. But they still are in that lose situation where they get it out and gets out early and somebody else has it, and what do you do with that information? And this all, for me, stems from, recently I had a conversation, a real quick exchange with Andy from Game Informer, the big head honcho,
Andy Mack.
Big Cheese, Andy Mack, about he took issue when we were still at IGN that with their Just Cause 3 reveal, that IGN used the Game Informer screenshot, they cropped it down to get the Game Informer logo out and used it as a thumbnail for the article and for the news article. And he's like, this is totally, IGN is stealing from us. And real quickly I was just like, are they? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, because I was coming at it from not being IGN, but being a content creator, right? You and I quit IGN, people write news stories about it, and they take our thumbnail off of the YouTube video and crop out the words and have that. Like, great. I'm glad you're telling our story. I'm glad the IGN story is set, you know, like, it was Damon at the news desk, or not, you know, at the news setup, being like, what's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN News. Game Informer has, you know what I mean? Like, they're mentioning it right off the bat, but he still took issue that cropping out the logo on that sense was still wrong, and I didn't agree with that. I thought that if you're promoting it and attributing correctly, yes. If IGN was to take the same screenshots from Game Informer, crop them down, and then post them as their screenshots and re-watermark them, that's some bullshit. But when the news story is Game Informer is breaking this, I think it's a different thing. And so for me, that's just coming up. This is not exactly the same thing as this NeoGAF thing, but it's such an interesting position that pretty much the last like bastion of games journalism in a print sense is like dealing with this and having to do this, and then having to go publicly on to public social media platforms on the digital front and be like, it sucks these other digital sites are doing this to us.
Right.
It's like, well, you know, it's a weird thing. It's a weird world.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I don't I'm just so disappointed with, I think that there's great news outlets out there.
Yeah.
In terms of politics, in terms of sports, I think there are awesome guys out there that are telling great sports stories, especially. Sure. I think sports is just, I think the gaming industry and the way games are written about and this is the model for this show, can learn a lot from how sports are covered. I really believe that from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
There are real journalists doing real things. You watch, Sunday NFL Countdown or on ESPN or like the NFL Insiders or whatever. A lot of people are confused when they first start watching it because like all the guys are on their phones like the entire time.
Right.
And it's because they're like talking to their sources and just like getting things out there and being like, oh, I can confirm that this happened and these guys are talking to this guy and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Like, you don't see that in games journalism. And, you know, I did my best to shake that like kind of reductive regurgitation that everything happens all the time. Sometimes that's the nature of the beast. These guys know this thing and we report on it. But I made it my mission to try to tell as many different kinds of stories as I could. And I think games journalism can benefit a lot from that. So you have less of these issues. It's like, what is the Uncharted 4 is coming, and we know this information, but what does it mean? How can we interpret it? Like, can we get more information? Those kinds of things I think are more relevant than just taking a bullet pointed list or whatever. You take the bullet points and then you see if you can tell your own story and like how you can evolve it instead of just you search for Uncharted 4's release date or something like that. And it's the same 100 stories. You know,
Sure.
It's just I don't know. It's just
so. Here's my question now off of that. Then, is games journalism as it stands right now?
I think most of it isn't. I think that, and maybe it's easy for me to say, but I think that not a lot, but some of what I was doing was journalism, and some of what people were doing is journalism. You know, like Jason Schreier at Kotaku is most certainly a games journalist.
Yeah.
He breaks stories all the time. When I got unprecedented access to Naughty Dog or Sucker Punch to tell their stories, like that's journalism. When I tell you that a game is canceled, that's journalism. But at the same time, I think people have to understand that games journalism has been rolled in with games criticism, with editorializing about games and all these kinds of things, and it's a little muddled up. And you went to a great journalism school, and so you know that a lot of these things aren't journalism, But a lot of people don't,
that was the big thing for me when I got here is, like, I always tell a story of, like, you learn in J school journalism ethics, right? You never ever, they go through giant classes and semesters on what ethics are and how this works and how you protect your relationship with the reader and relationship with context and all these different things. And, I remember when I was working at the Columbia Daily Tribune, I went to a political rally. A pundit, one of the senators, was giving his speech or whatever. And I was in a shirt and tie and my, slacks or whatever. And I get there, it's a Missouri summer. It's your shirt's sticking to you. It's 1,000,000 degrees out. And I got there and I walked there from the office like an idiot because it wasn't that far, but it was far enough that I'd be dying of heat. And I grabbed a bottle of water and drank it. And then I realized that I took a bottle of water from this Senate staff and I tried to pay them money, and they're like, "What are you doing? Get away. It's a bottle of water. Are you kidding me?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this." And then you jump to coming to work in the video games industry, the video game journalist industry, the enthusiast press, whatever you want to call it. And that didn't exist at all. You know what I mean? You're sent on trips. And this is when I started, and they've definitely fallen off a cliff since then. But extravagant trips for I was go to Palm Springs, stay at this resort for 3 days to see one game, and it's like what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Are you kidding me? And now it's way better. Even in my 8 years, it's grown up, but there's still so much more for games journalism to grow up in and do more in the industry to get behind it. What you're talking about is having sources, telling stories, being insightful. That is happening. Obviously, you're citing a whole bunch of good examples of it, but it's not the majority, right?
No,
you know what I mean?
definitely not.
News still I remember when we first started at IGN, we would get press releases, and then the news team would just put them up pretty much. They wouldn't even really change them. They wouldn't even say anything. And then finally that started to evolve into what you're seeing now and stuff. You look at Colin Campbell, right? Who goes out and does
Yeah, Colin Campbell's another games journalist.
I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to call a contact. I'm going, set up an interview, do these different things. Mitch likes to tell stories that way too from IGN.
Now let's be clear. There's nothing wrong with not being a games journalist.
100%. That is not meant to be a knock at all.
Being a critic, like Dan Stapleton or even Vince.
Yeah.
Being an entertainer, which I guess is kind of what we are, a person that interprets news. I also editorialize, right? I'm still writing for places.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I think that there is something wrong with for gaming to evolve and for the way we cover games to evolve, we must approach games journalism in a more serious way, And that is one of the things that I tried to really do, and I hope I was successful about it in some ways. But why? What are you laughing at?
Out of all the times, you shouldn't have been wearing the Mega Man hat.
Wait, you don't like my Mega Man hat?
There's a way to approach games journalism in a serious way.
Hey, I'm not a games journalist.
I know, me neither. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. No, that's the big thing. When I was there, I was very clear to people that I did not consider what we did journalism. Now, I consider it what we do enthusiast press, and we're media, you know what I mean? We're doing all these different things, and this is not me trying to dodge saying there's no ethics in what happens in games journalism. It is about gaming ethics in games journalism. They're there, you know what I mean? That's the whole thing. I was never paid off for a review. My job was never threatened before about a review I gave. Nothing like that ever happened, nor did I ever get hey, here's this, here's this DC Universe. This is sent when I had cancer from the DC Universe Online people. It was I hope we get a good expansion pack review. You know what I mean? That never happens. That's not how it works. You make these interpersonal relationships and you have them, and that's how it can get sticky when news does start happening, right? And that's the interesting thing we've found recently with our lives, right? Of we know these developers super well, and then a news story breaks, and we may not be covering it. You know what I mean? We're not the guys with the byline, but it's still a weird situation to be in with your friends. But that's how it is, and that's how it goes. But
I agree. So
it's a weird thing of growing up right now.
Yeah, I think that the way games are covered is young. I think that people are just really eager for a click. What?
Jens Anderson from DC Universe Online is watching this. He said we sent them because we love you, Greg.
I think that games journalism and the way games are covered will evolve as everything gets older and people will kind of find their feet underneath them and figure that out. But right now, it's all about just writing what another outlet wrote and getting it's just when everything's reductive and just becomes only about clicks and only about getting people into something with a snazzy headline but not giving them any content. other than what can already be found somewhere else, that's disturbing to me. And that's why I love sites that don't do that. I love Politico. I love Grantland. I love, all like Politico is an extraordinary website.
Right.
Like they have their own digital magazine that they do, which is like super long form and awesome. Like the news is important, and getting that news out there is important. X happened at Y time for Z reason, right? But the Z reason is like 90% of the story, and then you can really get into that, and that doesn't happen enough.
Hey, Nick, remember 30 minutes ago when I texted asking for a glass of water?
Did you?
Yeah, that was helpful. Remember when you said you were going to bring me coffee?
Yeah,
when you said you'd buy the Keurig
at
pods?
Starbucks right
I'm going to order 100 pods off the internet.
No.
Colin, everybody wants a Mega Man. You was in the Mega Man hat emote, so I'm going to get a photo and then I'll crop it out tonight. Done. There you go. Mega Man emote coming tomorrow morning, everybody.
So anyway, that was an interesting conversation.
That's what we do here on Colin and Greg Live each and every day.
Yeah. So that's all the news, Greg.
Good.
Shall we jump into the chat for a little while?
No, as usual. Thank you, Nick. I love you, Nick. Nick! I'm joking!
I'm in the next room. You guys need it.
We want to have fun with you. Come here. Get a kiss. Come here. Come get a kiss. Don't fall in the boxes there. Come here. I love you. Come
Someone
on,
keeps saying, don't forget the Army of Champions, don't forget to switch your weapons.
All right, Colin. So here's
Yeah.
the news you missed in your little rundown, all right? And I'm embarrassed you missed this one because it's probably the biggest news of the day. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Freedom Wars announcement to be made this weekend. Are you aware? I am livid right now.
Yeah.
So mad. There is like a Freedom Wars convention happening in Japan that no one told us about. Why are we not there protecting our panopticon? Look at this map. It's got Percy. Look
Percy
at these
proper.
cards, these collections you get. Look at this. Look at the schedule's got Percy all over it too. Motherfucker. See, it says something is going to happen during the finale at 1800 hours.
Sequel, you have to assume. Announced.
Hope so. Maybe a giant expansion pack. Maybe an easier way to get your weapons and level them up. That's what I want. You know what I mean? You hear me? You feeling me, dog? Right. What else? We got that news done. Do you care? Would you want a Freedom War sequel? Is that what you're about?
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Yeah. Silicon Air had this one too, by the way, where I was shouting people out.
Yeah, Silicon Air is a great website, actually.
Yeah.
They really get into the nitty-gritty with the Japanese games, which I very much enjoy.
I'm a big fan of that. Still upset we didn't get invited to this, though. Nick is walking in front of her. He's got a pen. Nick needed a pen. You okay, Nick?
Good.
Then what about this one? We didn't talk about this one. Jenna Malone.
Oh, I didn't see the story. Okay.
I sent it to you. You asked for stuff, I send you stuff.
Oh, sorry, I didn't check my email.
Jenna Malone.
Yep, I know her.
There's been rumors when she showed up with this red hair and she was floating around where they're doing Batman Superman that she was going to show up and be the Robin from The Dark Knight Returns. They asked. I just wanted to bring.
Oh,
this
so
up.
like a female Robin.
Right.
That's
because
cool.
that's what happens in Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, okay.
There's this girl who follows him around, and he's like, "Oh, I don't," and then she helps him and saves him, and yada yada yada. So now, yeah, there's been a few interpretations of this character throughout comic books and DC Comics lore, but now that she got asked about it and said, no, I thought that was interesting, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you would. It's so weird to put people in an awkward spot like that, though. You know,
Right.
Like they can't. They're not going to lie to your face. And that's.
Well, they could Jaffe it. They could David Jaffe it, lie to your face.
Yeah, I mean, that's sometimes what you have to do that to
Yeah, I know.
protect
I
your
totally
secrets.
understand.
Protect your secrets.
Don't forget to protect your secrets. All right. So now what are you talking about?
So
Chatting?
shall we move on to talk to some of the users here?
Sure. Not sub chat yet, right?
Not
We
sub
just
chat.
wanna talk?
Let's just.
Ooh,
have a
someone's
chat.
asking if we need a new. Jay Kingdom here made a straw poll to see if we need a new Team Fat president. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna vote for myself.
Well, I'm gonna vote and cancel out your vote.
It doesn't matter. You can't. Oh, you found it. I didn't think you'd be able to find it fast enough. You're not good at the internet.
Cannot cast your vote. Error returned by server. User has already voted on poll. You used our IP.
Suck it.
That's nonsense.
Suck it. Here we go. T-Man2096 says, if you guys are not going to do Beyond 400, can you guys do a massive live event for Kind of Funny this summer? Maybe add it as one of the perks on Patreon. Well, T-Man, hey, look who it is, Tim Geddes. You want a kiss too? Come here, you big bastard. Oh, you're all sweaty. Gross. You didn't tell me you were sweaty.
I'm sweating Tim.
Sweating Tim. How do we stop sweating? So, let's cover off on some of this. He said, if we don't do Beyond 400, Beyond 400 is well outside of our control now. IGN owns Podcast Beyond. If they do a Beyond 400, I don't know. If I get invited, I will gladly come and hang out. Kind of Funny, on the original patreon.com/kindoffunny, we hit the tier for doing a live event. We are doing a live event. The problem was that I discovered when you try to book a live event and work a job that you can't like call out and do live events from, it's hard to book spaces. So we're looking to do it. I originally wanted to do it end of February. Then I discovered PAX East is in March right away. And it's like, ew, I don't want that crossover. So then I was thinking, because I want people who are going to travel to not have to spend $1 million if they're doing both. I don't want to compete with PAX East. I thought, what about April? Because then it can be my birthday party too.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? We could have Greg Miller's giant birthday party. We have to do a whole bunch of other stuff now. You hit a Patreon goal too on Kind of Funny Games, where you have to do a 30-man Royal Rumble on the N64, a la a Harmonix/Giant Bomb from PAX East. We get to do that too. So, if everybody's cool, let me know in the chat. Are you cool with an April live event for Kind of Funny in San Francisco? Live Game Over Greggy show, probably a live Gamecast now. We'll probably pelt Kevin with tomatoes for you. You let us know. It's catching up.
Greg, PSN Frank asks, Colin, fan of coleslaw?
Interesting.
Not really.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's keep going.
Everybody's cool with April so far.
The VMM
Well, hold on. No. You don't need to drop a bomb like that and go on. Coleslaw.
What about it?
You don't like it, period?
That's fine.
I like it once in a while. It's fine.
I'm not gonna get crazy.
Here's when I like the coleslaw. When I'm getting the fried chicken dish somewhere and it has a little coleslaw, good. The big thing I like now, and this is the one I'm a big fan of at both, what's his face? You're right there with me, Nova. At Nova, and then at Ironside, down in Soma, or by the IGN building, they make barbecue sandwiches. I get the fried chicken sandwich, they put the coleslaw on the fried chicken, and I get to eat it like that. And
that's nice.
Ironside does it with the shredded pork.
Right, putting coleslaw on a sandwich on meat is very Pittsburgh-style sandwich.
Yes, and have you ever, this is in the Mission, do you ever go to Giordano Brothers?
Yep.
Good sandwiches, and they put coleslaw on them too.
What I like about them is that they're like, don't ask us to change anything. It's like there's a sign there, be like, like this is the sandwich.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah. Get out of here, you Mission hipsters.
Which I like. The one I go to is not the Mission though. I think it's North Beach.
Oh really?
By the strip clubs.
Junior Hop 36Set4 says, hey Greg and Colin, we're trying to put together a group for GTA Online, and we just wanted you to know there's a Kinda Funny squad. Social Club Rockstar Games crew, kinda_funny_squad. If y'all join, we will set you up on those top spots to deserve to be at. We should do that. We should do some GTA Online.
I agree.
Everybody. All right, cool.
I absolutely agree.
I'm opening this in a new tab, and then I'll share it again in the chat so everybody can do it. We can get there. Well, this is a good point. Well, you know, it's been a rock'em sock'em robot weekend, right? Or week, 3 days, 4 days. So much is happening. I feel like today's the first day where I feel like it doesn't feel like everything's collapsing around us as we run, right? It's not like we're at the end of Uncharted 3 with the world falling apart around us.
And we're high.
No, we weren't high yet. This is after we killed Talbot.
Okay.
And then Catherine Marlowe we didn't save. Spoilers for Uncharted 3. Sorry, everybody. There's a bunch of things to call out. So the social club, great. There's a Reddit. We have our own subreddit at r Kinda Funny. That's been built for a long time, and we've never really promoted it just because it's hard to promote. You know what I mean? We already send you to a million effing places. We're sorry. Kindafunny.com is being revamped. It's almost there right now. Soon every video will go up there, be posted as a blog post. So if you fall behind, you can't find the Twitches, this, that, or the other, you'll be able to find everything we do, because we do understand that having Twitch to YouTubes is confusing for everybody.
NH Drumline17, Greg, he asks...
that he or she, big time supporter.
Yeah, I definitely recognize that name. I think we're friends on PSN. He says, oh my god, it's moving too quick. He says, what are your tips for someone wanting to start streaming to gain an audience following? I feel like every time I stream, it just goes out into a void on the internet. I also find it difficult to know what to talk about. What do you guys suggest? What do you think, Greg?
He's already doing it, which is the biggest thing. Is I always tell people to get out and do it. If you want to be a games journalist, you want to be a streamer, you got to go and do it. And you can't worry about the quality of it all, right? You just got to get out there and you got to create content, and then hopefully the audience finds you. The easiest way, and what worked for Colin and I both, right, is that we have a niche. We're PlayStation, right? That's what we did at IGN. People knew us. We talked about one thing. And if you remember, when we started doing that, first off, people didn't like us. Maybe they still don't. Secondly, it was a small group. And then it grew and grew and grew, because you find like-minded individuals who tell it. If you're streaming, you're trying to find an audience right now, and you feel like it's just going out into nowhere, I would pick a game you really are passionate about and stick with it. Like, I would say it would be really helpful if you're the only person streaming it. If you want to go through the hoops to get Freedom Wars up and running, that'd be awesome. Because when I streamed it that one night, it was a crappy stream, the quality was bad, I didn't know what I was doing, but people came to me because there was only 2 Freedom Wars streams going, right? Something like that. If you go and stream Destiny, you're already going to find such a narrow group, you know what I mean? Everybody already knows Alfredo Plays on Twitch is the best Destiny player ever. What do you got?
Shady G Fella says...
No, I meant like advice. You got any advice?
I just think consistency is really important.
That's right. Set a time, hit that time.
I think consistency is really important. That's why Beyond grew.
11 a.m. every day, Colin and Greg live.
Shady G Fella says, Colin, what went wrong with Squaresoft, SNES, PS1 Golden era to today? There's going to be a conversation with Colin about that. Just maybe in the coming weeks. Maybe next week even.
No, next week's Nintendo, I think.
Oh, Nintendo. So in the coming weeks, we'll say. In the coming weeks.
Yeah, that's how it works.
At youtube.com/kindafunny. Let's see. I'm going to keep scrolling.
Boobs, says Ghost Gamer 93.
Hey, Greg. DC Marvel 04240 says, hey, Greg, Colin, what non-Nintendo character do you want in Smash Brothers? Dr. Wily is always my answer. And I keep saying it, Dr. Wily as a Pokemon trainer type character that is behind, like, is in the back, like in the background, and he commands Robot Masters.
All right, here's mine. Clementine, Walking Dead.
That'd be weird.
That would be weird and awesome, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be bloody.
Are they even? Is that those games even on Nintendo platforms?
I don't think so. I mean, it's on everything, but the Wii you can't run anything. Just kidding. I'm just trolling on that one. I think it's honestly ridiculous the amount of Wii U we've streamed on our stream.
I know. We've streamed
all
more
our
than
Let's Plays.
anything
Yeah.
Fight of Dream, I think his name says.
Fight of Dream.
Do you think there'll be a The Last of Us sequel? I think there will absolutely be a The Last of Us sequel. I think that you'd be, not you, but Naughty Dog, and sort of be foolish to ignore the sales. That what is it, 7-8 million sales and not do a sequel? I think you got to do a sequel. Let's go down to the bottom. Let's do one more and then we'll go to sub chat.
Okay.
Let's see. Scrolling. Mr. Pac-Man 97 says, so will the apparent Uncharted trilogy happen before Uncharted 4? I would be shocked, absolutely shocked, if an Uncharted trilogy didn't come out to PS4 digitally and at retail this summer or in the fall, in the early fall.
I can live with these.
Prime everybody for Uncharted 4.
Yeah, you think so, right?
Oh, it has to. It'll probably be announced at E3
But see, the problem is then this sticks with my theory that they're going to delay Uncharted 4. I think it's a lot to drop on somebody at what? You're doing it E3 August, and then you're expecting them to buy the new game in November, probably. I guess it's not that bad, but it seems like a lot of content to try to get through. It seems like I'd rather have that now-ish. I'd rather have that before E3, I think. If that makes sense to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We'll see.
Okay.
All right, let's go to sub-only chat. We appreciate everyone who's not a sub, of course. You don't have to sub. You're still here joining us.
You sub, you get the emoticons. You get the automatic entry into our prize giveaway each and every Friday. You get private time like you're about to get with us for 15 minutes. We're eventually going to figure out playing games with everybody. It looks like the social club thing is going to be a great way to do it with GTA. I need a Destiny crew. We need to set up like Destiny dates, I guess, where I can jump on with, what is it, 2 or 3 people to drag me through, to help me level up, yada, yada, yada. So we'll get that all set up. Lots of sub things that are happening that are cool, though. We try to take care of you.
And real quick, just for everyone out there, because a lot of people have asked me, about the documentary that I was in and that I narrated for. It's a video game documentary called World 1-1. World 1-1 premiered in San Francisco in October. I'm in it. I narrate the beginning and the end of it. I'm also a talking head or whatever. Jared from IGN and Pear from IGN and Sam from IGN are also talking heads in it. It's really, really fascinating. It's about the origins of the gaming industry. If you go to @World11 Film, 11 ONE film, so World11 Film on Twitter, the trailer for it is up, and the movie is coming out very, very soon for you to purchase and rent and all those things. The trailer is 2 minutes and 46 seconds long.
I started it, but I'm not gonna let that sit for 2 minutes.
But it's awesome, and I
When I was
really
3 years old,
think they
my
did a great
parents and
job.
I went
wanted
out
to give him a
and
shout out, so I'll
bought
be
Is he
reminding
narrating
you.
right now?
VCR.
That's Jared. We know him.
Brought it home,
Yeah, I don't know if
unboxed
I'm- I
it,
don't know
plugged
if
it
I'm
in,
in,
and
if I'm
played.
You gotta be. They're burying the lead if they
One of
didn't put you in
moments
this.
in my life.
Let's see.
There was a world inside that little box, and then we put another cartridge
Jared
in,
was awesome.
and there's
He's
another
a
world, a
fountain of
different
knowledge,
place to
fountain of
go.
video game knowledge.
After
And it's
that,
funny too.
there
Jared's
was no
lost a lot of
going
weight.
back for me. I was
Yeah, he has.
He's
trapped
been talking to me
inside
about
that
how
little screen
everything
some
he's
way
been
for the rest
doing,
of
da
my
da da
life.
da. And you look at this
I
photo,
wanted
it's
to
like,
go
oh yeah, this
explore
was
and
from a
find
while ago.
new things there.
There you are. Oh no, that's not you. Sorry. Okay.
So yeah, go check it out, and let us know what you think. And that will be out for you guys soon. I really do appreciate your support on that. And yeah, so of course you can follow us on Twitter, Kind of Funny Vids.
Yep.
You can follow me, No Taxation Greg at Game Over Greggy. Come support us on Patreon if you want. You don't have to. Patreon.com/kindoffunny for all of our non-gaming content, and Patreon.com/kindoffunnygames for our gaming content. We have a new gaming podcast up called Kind of Funny Gamescast you can check out. That will be on iTunes soon, I believe.
Friday.
On Friday. So basically it's the same rigmarole that the Game Over Greggy show goes on, where it'll be split up topic by topic on YouTube. You can get it early if you're a Patreon, or purchase it on places like Bandcamp, or it'll be available for free the next week. So basically, you don't have to give us any money if you don't want to. You get pretty much everything.
Everything will be there. It's just delayed, and that's a big thing. I do want to talk to people who are Patreon.com/kindoffunnygames supporters who are looking for the MP3 early. SoundCloud shit the bed yesterday, so Tim's fixing it. It'll be up. Right now, we've made even if you only gave $5 to get the MP3, we've for the week given you the access to the $10 MP4 as well, so you can watch the videos early.
You have to understand that I'm Geraldo. I'm not anyone to trifle with.
We gotta get more soundboard clips to go to.
No,
I gotta
I
get
think
that Mike Jackson one.
I think that's totally fine without. We would never have to get.
Never do another one.
All right, so let's go to sub-only chat.
Sub-only chat has been enabled.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, we're in it. It's happening. Mitt Moraine just subscribed. Donovan MTZ just sorry, they're going quick.
Akabob says, please stop saying rigmarole.
Nope, not a chance. If you don't want me to, if we ever stop saying rigmarole, I'm gonna F5 Portillo right through the table.
Seneco17 says, can you guys keep the 8-bit intro, please? We will. I think we'll use it again.
We are keeping it. I'm pretty sure, just due to a conflict of me. Again, it's raining meteors all the time here lately. We didn't communicate that for the Patreon episode. So next week's Patreon episode, we'll start with the Bing Bong Bing. Then on YouTube, it'll have the real intro, I believe is how it's going to work. So there you go.
Let's see. It's going so fast.
You want me to put on slow mode?
Fast. Yeah, put on slow mode.
Slow mode is coming, everybody. Slow mode is enabled.
Thank you.
That's what slow mode means now.
It's still going.
What's the best kind of burrito? Says Brody Lowe. Carne asada.
Yeah, I'm a fan of pork, but it's the California burrito, specifically at Underdog.
Oh yeah, with the French fries.
With French fries.
Yeah, French fries inside. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, that's the one to go with.
Let's see. Oh my, it's still going so fast.
It's because it just slows people down from talking. They can't put in like 3 things. They have to do their breaks. Anyways, Trip Monkey says, any favorite non-gaming podcasts? I have a bunch. I love Death, Sex, and Money from Anna Sale. I love This American Life. Serial I enjoyed, but I'm way behind. I mean, I know it's already been ruined for me, so don't worry. But that was a great one too. And then The Moth. True stories told in front of a live audience. All great. You should grab those.
Yeah, I mean, the only ones I really listen to are any of the sports ones. So PTI, which I watch on TV a lot, Around the Horn, and then Grantland's football podcasts are awesome.
Gotcha. Tyler Q Hall says, I just want to learn more about this Kind of Funny Games Club. When will the reward be on Patreon? Maybe today. The problem is, like, we all schedule ourselves really tightly around here. So, like, I'm going to finish this, scarf food, then run to this place I've never heard of called IGN to record some show called Up at Noon. And then I have to run back here to do a phone call with Twitch. And then I'm doing another podcast. Hopefully somewhere in there, I'll be able to launch the Games Club. I can tell you. Can I tell them the game we're going to do for the first month?
Yeah, okay.
The game we're going to do for the first month is Super Metroid. The classic
One of the
Super
greats.
Metroid.
One of the greats.
I've never played it. I mean, I started playing it. I was a Sega kid, you know what I mean? But I bought an SNES, you understand, probably 8th grade. I bought an SNES and then only played Super Mario World on it while listening to Pinkerton. On repeat. That's all I did. Because I went to Matt Noel's house, played Super Mario World there all the time, beat it, and I was like, well, I need this in my life at home. Went home and did that.
Oh, you gotta have it in your life.
So Super Metroid, if you didn't know, the Games Club is going to be simple. We're going to start it here on Kind of Funny Games. We're all going to play one game for a month and beat it. So it's going to be Super Metroid this time around. Then we're going to have a Patreon tier for, I think, $15 for 3 slots where people get to do it, get into it, and then they play it with us, obviously. They play it on their own. Then we all come together for a Google Hangout, all 4 of us, with a chat over here from everybody who wants to chat about what they thought of the game. We have like a book club meeting. We do it live streamed here on twitch.tv/gameover, Old habits. And then we'll put it up on YouTube as well.
Sean Pitts asked, Colin, can you stream Evil Within? Maybe. I think the next game I'm going to stream is Zeo Drifter from Renegade Kid, though. Jules over there sent me a bunch of codes for it for PC and for 3DS.
I'm gonna be able to figure out the streaming on the PC?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna give some of those codes away while I'm streaming it. So maybe that happens tonight or tomorrow.
Well, remember, there needs to be an afternoon stream today. I don't think we have anything.
Okay, so maybe I'll do that this afternoon.
2 o'clock we stream games. I won't be here.
So yeah, maybe I'll jump on and do Zeo Drifter. I feel like we've been streaming so much Smash Brothers that we need a little bit of a break.
Yeah, for sure. We want to switch it up. It's it's just one of those things that right now we're all so excited to be in this new world together doing these different things. I imagine over the next few weeks it'll taper off and get into a more, okay, I want to play this game. Greg wants a Destiny crew.
Let's see. Sorry, the colors are so unfortunate.
Yeah, right. Some of the colors
suck. I think it says going booze shopping. Any bourbon recommendations?
Ooh.
Depends on how much you want to spend. My favorite bourbon is Noah's Mill, and that's going to run you $50, $60, $70 a bottle, depending on where you get it. But it's really, really good. It's got a really nutty flavor. It's done by a distillery called Willet, which we went to.
Yep.
Really awesome. They also do Rowan's Creek and a bunch of really good rye. So I suggest that. If you want to get something cheaper, that's good. Old Grandad 117, I think, is the stuff we've been drinking that's really good. Also,
I like Knob Creek a lot.
Knob Creek's good. You can get that for about 35 bottles. Yeah. Or $35 for a bottle. Eagle Rare is really good, but you're not going to find an age statement on that anymore.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. And then even Bullet is fine. Bullet's fine. You can get that for 20, 25 bottles.
Right.
Geez, I keep saying that. 20 to 25. That just shows you how much I drink.
Yeah.
I think about it in terms.
You're thinking in bottles.
One day, I've tweeted a few times. One day we'll give you a little tour of our bourbon collection. We just have an absurd amount of bourbon in this house. So, and we're getting even more because our good friend Eric Castro from Follow the Leader, and please watch Follow the Leader if you haven't watched it yet. We might be bringing it back for another season. He's going to buy us or sell us, I think, a little case of some of his good bourbon as well. So we're going to have more of that coming here soon. So go buy bourbon.
Trips Monkey says, I don't think Clem wants you to stop streaming. Look at the puppy dog eyes on Clem here.
I know, she's sad.
A cool thing about this is last night somebody tweeted me asking where I got it. And I was like, oh, and I Googled because I couldn't remember anymore. But it's Nick Miner, who if you just Google Nick Miner, you'll find his art. You can go to my Twitter feed too, Game Over Reggae on Twitter. You'll find the tweet there. I thought it was really, really cool, and it's always fun to see, like, you know, obviously, Colin and I are well aware of the impact you all have on our lives and how you change our days and how cool it is to see our Twitter feeds explode. It was cool last night to tweet out the link to Nick Miner's store. I'm going to pull it up over here and then kind of forget about it. I just went off right and did my thing. And then this morning I woke up to a tweet from him being like, oh man, he was telling everybody that he had to restock the store and stuff because you guys came in force and bought it. So if you went last night to get the Clementine poster off of Radiant Gray there on Etsy, it has been restocked. You can go grab your own right there. Official cool. Clementine poster of the Kind of Funny Games cast.
Very cool. Nella Noakes asks, any Castlevania streams? I will absolutely, positively be streaming Castlevania.
That's coming.
Castlevania 1, 2, and 3, I'm sure, are shoo-ins for Hater of the Year, a little Chappelle Show reference for you. Hate. No, they're shoo-ins for us to stream those games. And I think Symphony of the Night is going to be a perfect one too, especially after we play Super Metroid, because Super Metroid there would be no Castlevania Symphony of the Night without Super Metroid.
See, and the weird thing is I played Symphony of the Night. Didn't beat it, but I played it. Like, I know that. And like Metroid for some reason, sorry.
Oh, Symphony of the Night is Super Metroid.
Yeah.
You know, like I think you're gonna, if you liked it.
Oh yeah.
Then you're.
I mean, I liked what I played that one night with you in Super Metroid.
I think Symphony of the Night's better than Super Metroid, but I think that there would be no Symphony of the Night without Super Metroid.
AMC 215 says, when is the Minecraft server coming? And he does the Nick emoticon. Soonish. Again, it's just, there's a laundry list of things. The other thing that we're talking about is like, oh, we're gonna stream this in the afternoon, we're gonna do this, and then we keep forgetting that we have to edit the videos for the next day. That's a big problem. We didn't think that through. I didn't, at least. I'm sure other people did.
We're hitting our rhythm.
Exactly. As we ease into this, once I stop doing all the appearances and doing different things, it'll be easier to do it. Now, I say all of that, and then next week is my final up at noon. Troy Baker's in town. We have Luis, the guest, the Patreon from our very first Patreon, who is going to come be on the show. We're going to an Xbox event. There's a million things going on. But it's all good. It's all amazing. Thank you for your support.
Let's do 3 more questions, Greg.
Three more questions.
Let's see. Pigeon Tamer 91 says, Greg, when do you think MGS5 will be out?
November.
November? I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah. I think, I mean, like, there was that whole thing with Kojima's shirt. You remember that? Mm-hmm. They made a big deal about that. I forget, what did it actually point to if you did it? I forget, but whatever.
Wasn't it another Swedish thing? Mm-hmm. MVP398 says, Greg, have you worked on your Mega Man?
No. My Mega Man skills will only be enriched when I'm with Colin. I'm not going to go out there and get better. It was eye-opening, I'll tell you what, to watch Tim and Nick play. And then even watch Colin play a little bit more, right? You understand, I came out of the gate. I sat down, I was the first one, I went and I sucked it up. I understand that. I think now that I've seen you guys play, I understand to shoot the whole time. Don't worry about getting hit. It'll be okay. That was all helpful.
Yeah, this just, and you got to remember rule number 1.
It's all fucked up.
Everything's fucked up. Final question.
Okay.
Let's see.
Well, this isn't the final question. Sawman's MM says, what are you guys streaming at 2 p.m.? Are you going to try to...
I'll try to do Zero Drifter at 2 p.m.
We got to figure out the Steam and turning down the volume, but I think I have an idea, so we'll try to do that. And also, Tim and Nick are going to be around, so I'm sure they'll stream something too eventually.
Let's see. Citrus Chrome, flanked by X's, says, Kojima's shirt was pointing to June 22nd.
Gotcha.
That can't be that soon, though, right?
No,
I wouldn't suspect so.
Maybe a beta.
Final question comes from a sleeping monkey. He asks, would I get my money's worth if I bought a PS4 and only used it for exclusives? Maybe in the future, but
right now,
but not right now. No, I think if you don't like indie games and the indie and digital environment on PS4 right now is just dominant, just absolutely dominant. Then you're probably not going to like it because there really are only 4 AAA exclusives on PS4 right now. Anyway, that can only be on PS4.
Infamous Second Son. DC Universe Online.
No, that's not. It's in the PS4 exclusives that can only be played on PS4. So not Little Big Planet, not Last of Us.
Oh, okay. I see.
Knack. which is a AAA game that no one really liked.
Yeah.
Killzone Shadowfall, which I think is a great game. Infamous Second Son, which is a great game, but not nearly as good as the Infamous games on PS3. Right. And then Drive Club. If you aren't excited about those, or you aren't excited about what's announced next year, and there's only 3 of them, which is The Order, Bloodborne, and Uncharted, then maybe PS4 is not for you.
I'm excited for Bloodborne.
I am too. I will definitely be streaming Bloodborne. And we'll be streaming. I'll tell you right now. I'll stream The Order front to back for everyone.
In one sit?
Yeah. We'll sit there and we'll just go through it, and you're gonna see how I meticulously play my games when I first play them.
Nice.
Which is just
that's gonna be that's the one thing in everything we're doing right now, and it's fun. It's awesome. We haven't. I'm interested to see what happens when new games come around. You know what I mean? Like I guess H1Z1 is I want to try next week, and that's like the first game. But I mean like something like big, right? Like Bloodborne, like Uncharted. Excuse me, like Batman.
He's dying.
I'm turning into a Simmel.
All right, Greg. Let's wrap it up.
That's it.
So thank you for everyone joining us again today. We're really so honored and impressed by how many of you guys are joining us each
and you're
every
sticking
day.
it out with us. Please tell your friends, of course. This is a show we want to appeal to everyone. We want everyone to be a part of it. I hope it's working. I hope you like the chat. We hope you're doing well on Patreon. We hope we're doing well on all the videos, too.
Absolutely. So, follow us on Twitter at Kinda Funny Vids, Game Over Greggy, No Taxation. You can join us here each weekday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time for more Colin and Greg Live. If you want to support us on Patreon, please do that. Please follow us on YouTube, though. That's free, and you can watch those videos for free whenever you want. YouTube.com/kindafunny and YouTube.com/kindafunnygames. Kindafunny.com will have all the information you need about everything we're doing. We'll be streaming here later on Twitch.
2 p.m.
TV/kindafunnygames.
Which is like an hour and a half from now.
So, Greg, let's shut it down. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
You have to understand that I'm Geraldo. I'm not anyone to trifle with.